Okay, so hey, hi everyone. A very good evening. Uh, can I have some noise in the chat? I can already see the chat. There are so many students and everyone is already excited for the session. Just give me a confirmation if you all are able to hear me. Hello, Ansh. Yeah. So others also, if you all are there, like I can see 150 plus students there. So थोड़ा chat में noise मचा दो. Okay, Mayuri, good evening. Okay, good evening, good evening. Okay. Hi, Son. Hi, Arya. Hi, Lucky. Okay, good evening, everyone. So, why I'm here? I'm not at all your trainer. So, I'm actually here to tell you all that what are the do's which you have to follow to get your certificate for this program. As you all are here, so you have to you are here for getting some knowledge and Anuj Kumar, yes, you are audible. Thank you for the confirmation. Okay. So you are here for to get some knowledge and to get the certificate. Okay. So I'm here to actually tell you that how you will be eligible for getting the certificate. Okay. So for that, let me just share my screen. Okay. So I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Can I just have a confirmation that if you all are able to see my screen? Yes. 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 Okay. Fine. So I welcome you all for the your essential program of data science, data analysis, day one. I hope you all have registered for the program. If not, then do register. I'll tell the mod to share the registration link in the chat. Okay, so if you are directly coming on YouTube and you have not registered for the program, you will not be eligible for your certificate. Okay, so here you can see there are some do's and don'ts. So the very first thing which you have to do is to get yourself registered using this link. Okay, so this is the link, or you can just visit our website and just register yourself. Okay, so the second thing is you have to attend all the 2 days. So this is a 2 day session. Okay, so you have to attend both days. So this will be 2 hours a session in a day. So we have like on Saturday and Sunday you have session, and both will be for 2 hours. Okay, so you have to attend both the days and you have to fill the attendance for both the days. So if you miss even one day, then your certificate is gone. Okay, so make sure that you attend the both days session and you fill the attendance for both the days. Third thing is once we complete the course within 24 to 48 hours, you will be getting a exam link. Okay, so via your mail, if you are eligible for the exam, you will be getting a mail that if for example I have got like I have attended and I'm eligible, so I will be getting a mail say, hey Nidhi, this is your exam link. You can, and all the timeline and everything will be mentioned in the mail. Okay, so in how many time you can give the exam, and after giving the exam by how many time you will be getting your certificate in your profile. So all this will be mentioned there. If you pass the exam, obviously you will be eligible for the certificate, and that certificate will be visible in your Let's Upgrade profile. So make sure all of you who have you who all are here, make sure that you all have your profile on Let's Upgrade website. Okay. Once you earn that certificate, how you will be able to download it? Okay, so certificate तो profile में आ गया, but उसके बाद क्या? So you have to use 200 LU points to download that certificate. How to mark attendance? Rishi, attendance link will be shared in the chat, and it's also there in the description, so you can mark your attendance via using that link. Is this Node.js session or data analysis? Srihari, this is a data analysis session. Okay. So now how to earn 200 LU points? Okay, so the very first question you will be getting after I say that you will be required to have 200 LU points to download your certificate. How to earn that? Well, very simple. We have referral programs, as you all know. कि आप अपने फ्रेंड्स को रेफर करके आप वैल्यू पॉइंट जीत सकते हो, अपने आप को डिफरेंट कोर्सेज में एनरोल करके आप वैल्यू पॉइंट जीत सकते हो. ओके, सो इफ यू हैव विजिटेड आवर वेबसाइट, वी हैव अ फुल पूरे महीने का कैलेंडर शेड्यूल ओवर देयर. What do you have to do? You have to just get and register yourself for different programs, and then share the referral link with your friends. If you are a college student, you can share in your college group. If you are working somewhere, you can share it in your office group. That's it. So इतना ही simple है LU points जितना. So the more you register, the more you referrals you give, the more LU points you will have in your profile. For referral, the more you refer, आप लीडर बोर्ड में भी उतना आगे जाओगे. ठीक है. आई होप यू ऑल आर हियर, you all know how LetsUpgrade actually works. So the more referrals you give, the more you will come up on the leaderboard. अभी leaderboard से आगे अभी सोचोगे leaderboard से आगे आके क्या करूंगा? Well, if you come first, second or third, you will be getting prizes. Okay, so the first prize you will be getting a smartwatch. Second prize you will be getting a earphones. Third is you will be eligible for getting Amazon coupons. So these are the gifts you will be getting after you give more and more referrals. Sharat, I'm speaking in English and Hindi both, so all the students can understand. So if I have explained anything in Hindi, I have explained the same in English as well. So I hope now you would have understood. Harish, if I pass exam but not generate 200 LU points, then Harish, if you pass the exam, the certificate will be added in your profile, but you will be not be able to use it. For some sending your attachments and all and anything, you need to have the downloaded copy or PDF of the certificate, but you will be not be able to download it if you don't have 200 LU points. Data analytics session of how many days? So it's a 2-day session. I hope I have already told that, and the same has been mentioned in the website as well. So now you have completed the essential program of data analysis. Okay. After that, what? Basics सीख लिया. उसके बाद क्या? Well, after completing the 2 days or 3-day essential program, after that we also provide. Okay, thanks. Okay, thank you. So we also provide full stack programs. Okay. So after completing data analysis, you are standing here. Like you know the basics. Now you are standing at 0. What's next? Now, so you will be going on at level 1 if you have to go on level 1, or if you are willing to learn more. कि okay, basic सीख लिया, now advanced में क्या है? So for that, you can join our full stack program. Okay, so full stack program is a 6 month program. In 6 months, we start from the very basic, and then we go to intermediate level and then advanced level. So it's not like कि ठीक है essential में basic पढ़ा दिया and then full stack में direct advanced से पढ़ाते हैं. No, not at all. So you will be learning from the industry expert. So your today's trainer is also an industry expert. He's working in our industry, and he's all at the same time he is also teaching in Let's Upgrade in full stack programs as well. So that experience you will be getting. Okay, so if the industry expert is coming and teaching you, he will be giving you insights of what is the actual things industry is using or what companies are using. Okay, so that one privilege which Let's Upgrade provides to their students. Then there are personalized cohorts. When I say personalized cohorts, in a batch there are not more than 30 students. So the trainer can concentrate on all the students. So I know if there are 200 students, there will be a chaos, and trainer will not be able to concentrate on each student. So that's why we thought of in a batch there should not be more than 30 students. Okay, so the trainer can concentrate on each and every student. The trainer can solve the doubts of each and every student. We also develop 15 plus projects and a capstone project in our full stack program. So theory को भी पढ़ा देगा. Now when theory तो हमारे स्कूल में भी पढ़ा देते हैं, then how to implement it. So in Let's Upgrade, we make sure that students are making or working on 15 plus projects. That there are some which trainers teach along with the trainers make along with the students, and there are some projects which we give to students कि okay अभी ये लो and जाओ सीख के आओ and करो. If you stuck somewhere, obviously we are always there to help you, but just try to do that from yourself. So that one thing also we do. Then you get one-to-one mentoring session. So in every 15 days or every week you will be getting one mentoring session, personalized mentoring session. So there will be one person who will be hired to you only. If you have joined, then you know all the doubts and projects you will be able to solve there. So you will be getting one-to-one mentoring session, and after that you will be getting you will be also getting certificate from NSBC, ITN, and Let's Upgrade for your full stack program. अभी full stack program कर लिया, सब कर लिया, उसके बाद what else? So we also give placement guarantee. Okay, when I say placement guarantee, अगर unless or until you get placed, you are always there with Let's Upgrade. So we don't leave our students in air just like that कि ठीक है okay 6 months का course हो गया and now टाटा bye bye. No, unless or until you don't get placed, you are there with us. So why the logos of these companies are here? So recently we have placed our full stack student in these companies. So there are many more companies that is there in the website. You can go and check it out. But these are the recent placements which had happened like previous 2 months or something. So these are the companies. Okay, so I hope I have cleared all your doubts. If you like the session and if you want to learn more, just register for our full stack program. For registering, what you have to do is stop sharing. Okay, so full stack program में register करने के लिए what you have to do again. तो जस्ट गो टू letsupgrade.in जहाँ से आपको अपने एसेंशियल में भी रजिस्टर करना है. सो जस्ट गो देयर. स्क्रीन शेयर. Okay. So I hope my screen is visible to all of you. How much points will get per referral? So it's not predefined कि if you give one referral, you will get this much points only. That depends. अभी आप जब Google Pay करते हो तो that is not fixed ना कि कितने referrals मिलते हैं. So it's like that only. Again, just visit our website, go to my program, and there you will be able to see the program catalog. Okay, so these are the essential programs. You can see all are there, and you can go and register as many as programs. So you will be getting referrals. Okay, LU points. And these two are our full stack programs. So this is full stack web dev, this is full stack data science. This may be interested, so you are here for data analysis, just go enroll now. That, and यहाँ से फिर enroll कर दो. If you, and then you have to fill this form. Uh, okay, so you have to fill this form, just apply, and after filling, our counselor team will call you. Other than that, you can also check out so these are the companies, and you can also check out the curriculum there. It's there in like, if you go down, you can also check the curriculum. So everything is there. You can just visit the website and check all the programs which we are providing. Okay. Other than that, any other doubt, guys? कुछ और doubt है, कुछ पूछना है, तो just let me know in the chat, or otherwise we'll start from the session. Can non-technical students from non-CSIT can also do 6 months full stack program and also placement guarantee? Yes, Anuj. Just visit the website, fill the form, and my counseling team will get back to you. Of course, we have placed students who are from non-IT background, so you can anytime join. Okay, so I am not getting, do placement have eligibility criteria like CGPA and all? Shivraj, the only eligibility criteria for placement in LetsUpgrade is like whatever the project which we are giving you, whatever the assignments which we are giving you, you should make it, and you should attend all the live session. Okay, so there is 75% attendance thing is there. So if you attend like 75 to 80% of the sessions live, you are eligible for the placement. And of course, we keep doing exams also, so you have to pass that as well. I guess now we are done. We can start with today's session. Any other questions, guys? Need Anita Jha, need link for earning to LU 200 LU points. You can just go to our leaderboard wala section in the website, and you can get each program referral links and just share it with your friends. Okay, so you will be getting the LU points from there. Okay, so guys, let's start with today's session. So I welcome Satyam sir. So he is one of the best trainers which we have in our full stack, and he will be taking today's essentials. So I invite sir, and sir, please introduce yourself to the students, and we can go ahead with the today's session.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, ma'am. And hello, everyone. So let us just discuss about the agenda of today's session. So first of all, in today's class, we are just going to learn about the libraries, which we basically use for the data analysis. And in the second day, we are basically going to do a live project on the real-time data set, okay, where we will be doing all the pre-processing from starting to the end. And we are also doing a lot of visualization for like extracting a insight from our data. And uh, yeah, it is good to be a basic to advanced course. Yeah, this is the thing that we are basically going to do. And one more thing, there are a lot of students who basically have some kind of a confusion, like I'm from a non-technical background, I'm from a technical background, I basically do not know anything about the coding, I basically do not know what is data analysis, and if I'm learning data science, why can I just get a job after data analysis only? Why data science is important? Why data analysis is important? Okay, so basically data analysis is a part of data science. Data science is not just about model building, that you basically have imported some kind of a model from like model.fit, model.predict. This is not data science. If you are just getting 90% accuracy while you are just training your model, you are just getting 85% of accuracy, you are just doing some kind of a hyperparameter tuning, and you are just thinking like, oh wow, basically I have just created a good model which will be able to predict whether a classification thing, whether a regression thing. Okay, so no, the things are not going to work in this way. If I just talk about data analysis, if I just basically talk about a data scientist, okay, a data scientist is spend their 70 to 80% of time in only data analysis. Today, you are able to do some kind of a data analysis. So, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Okay, I can speak a little bit louder. So, today we are just going to understand about the data analysis. And if I just talk about, a data scientist is basically spend 70 to 80% of time for data analysis only. Because in today's date, you are just getting a data from Kaggle. You are just getting a data from, I can say, a GitHub, and you are just doing some kind of a implementation. You are just plotting some kind of a plots like a bar chart, a count plot, maybe a histogram, and like any others. So but in real life, just see, if you do not have data, okay, if you are just working on a new project, okay, for sure in real life we basically have to struggle for the data. Like where we can basically get a data from, like some kind of a API, from like some other business sources, where we can basically get a data. This is the main problem in the real life that we basically face. Okay, and all the times, all the 70 to 80% time we basically spend inside a data analysis. After that, for the 20 to 30% of time, we are just giving for the data science part. That is nothing but a model building, where we are just training a model and we are doing some kind of a hyperparameter tuning, and we are basically just training a lot of different model. Which one is basically giving us a good accuracy? We are just deploying that only. Okay, now, okay, no, age doesn't matter. I basically have in a contact with many of the peoples who basically have 20 plus year of experience. Okay, and they even if I'm just talking about age peoples with some good amount of age, but with some less amount of experience they are having, but still they was able to make an entry in data science after a casual course. Even after, if you have some kind of a different domain knowledge, okay, after that also you can basically make a entry inside a data science. That is not a big deal. Basically, if you are from a technical background, if you are from a non-technical background, in data science, everyone can basically make an entry, okay, in a AI field. Whether, because in data science there are different roles. They're like natural language processing engineer, a data analyst also, because a data analyst should analyze the data, plus he or she should also train the model. He or she should also know the knowledge of machine learning at that time, because there is something called pipeline, okay, that we basically use inside our industry, where we are just passing a data from the starting, and it is just giving us a result at the end by just doing all the analysis by EDA, by data cleaning, and model the prediction of the model, and it is just giving us the output. This is what we are doing inside our industry now. If you even do not have any kind of a knowledge with respect to data science, what is Python and what are the data types and all the things, okay, so do not worry, things are going to be very much easy. And even in Let's Upgrade, okay, we are basically providing you each and everything. And even in basically, if you are joining some other training company, at that time what basically they are doing, they are just they even do not allow their students to have a conversation with our mentors. Okay, but in Let's Upgrade, we are basically having a separate WhatsApp group with respect to all of our students. If they have any kind of a doubt at any time, they can basically directly message us. Okay, and we are just replying them, and we are just helping them out. Okay, yeah, there is little bit of a network issue from my end, so really sorry for that. So if video is not properly visible, but I'm assuming that my voice is not breaking, right guys? Is my voice is breaking? Can I get a confirmation? Okay, so guys, so do not worry about these things, that you are from a technical background or a technical background. For sure, Let's Upgrade is going to help you, and basically you are just going to land on your dream job. Okay, if you are just joining a Let's Upgrade, and there are a lot of benefit if you are just joining a Let's Upgrade, because you will be in a direct touch with a certain amount of period, like the course period that you are having. Okay, you will be in a touch with our mentors, with your mentors. Okay, so they are basically helping you in your if you are doing some kind of a personal project also, they are even helping you in that also. Okay, so yeah, let us just discuss about why data analysis. Okay, okay, really sorry. uh, okay, okay, so if I just talk about data analysis, why data analysis is important. Okay, so data science is not just about, okay, you just give me some kind of a data, I'm just going to analyze it. It doesn't work in this way. If a company is sending you some kind of a data set, first of all you need to extract some kind of information out of the data that your client is sending you. Okay, now there is something called feature engineering. Okay, in machine learning there is something called feature engineering, where we are just increasing the column sizes. If my machine learning model is not able to find a relationship between my data set, at that time I am basically applying various techniques, and one of the techniques from these various techniques are feature engineering. Now feature engineering, basically I can perform feature engineering only when, if I have a information, if I have a good information regarding my data set. Okay, it is not just like I'm just importing some kind of a data, I'm just reading the CSV, just plotting some kind of a graphs, and I don't know, I basically do not know what is basically happening inside that graph. You will be able to see some kind of a graph like a bar chart. Okay, but what kind of an insight you are getting from that bar chart? What if your client is basically going to ask you that what is inside my data set that I basically have sent you? Okay, what meaningful information that you are able to extract? Okay, so you basically have to tell this thing also, okay, to the client. Now okay, okay, thank you. My voice is audible. Okay, voice is breaking now. Okay, a little bit of issue with respect to my network. So yeah, I'm just turning off my cam and I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, 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 guys, I think my screen is visible to all. Is my screen visible, guys? Can I get a confirmation, guys? Okay, so I think my screen is visible. So there is one library called Pandas. Okay, I think all of you like a 20 to 20% or 10 to 20% of guys are aware about the Excel. Okay, there is some kind of a pre-processing things that we are going to do with respect to data analysis. Okay, so our first step is I'm just going to use the Pandas library. Okay, in Pandas library. Okay, so in Pandas library, we are basically working with CSV. Okay, we basically all know about the CSV and the Excel file format. But what if your data is not in CSV? First of all, you have to make your CSV. After that, you can perform kind of a machine learning operation. Okay, so if you do not have CSV in Excel, you can basically do not make any kind of a CSV. You basically have to enter all the things. Okay, but in in a real lifetime, we basically have something that is called databases. Okay, we have basically a structured databases and unstructured databases like SQL and NoSQL. Okay, from where we are just extracting the data and we are making some kind of a CSV at that time. Okay, so let us just start from our first step. So I first of all I'm just making a CSV over here, okay, where I'm just using a library called import pandas spd. Okay, if I'm just calling spd, that basically means spd name, I'm basically importing this thing. Okay, I can name it anything over here. I can even make a name of lt, but whenever I'm calling a functions, I have to pass lt.dataframe at that time. Okay, but I am just using a pd over here. Now this is basically my data frame, which basically have some sort of columns. Okay, because our data frame is nothing, it is a set of dictionaries. Okay, this is basically my key, this is basically my value. Okay, just give me, yeah, I think now it is good. Okay, now, and first of all over here I'm just using a Google Colab. All of you are using a Jupyter notebook. Okay, but in real life, whenever you are moving forward to the deep learning or the machine learning part, there is something called GPU. We have to use GPU for training our models. So because this Google Colab is just a format of your Jupyter notebook only. Okay, so how basically you can access this Google Colab? Just open your Google and type Google Colab. Okay, just click on the first one. Now just click on new notebook. Okay, in a deep learning model. Okay, so at that time you are just going to use this thing. Now this is similarly like Jupyter notebook only. Okay, there is no change. If I'm just going to type print hello, okay, so this is basically how you can use this Google Colab. It is similar to the Jupyter notebook only. Okay, now just see, if you do not have CSV, we basically have to create a CSV. Now let me just run this cell. Okay, now let me just click on my DF. Okay, so can I say this is basically looking like a CSV only? Okay, with the help of pd.dataframe, I was able to create a CSV. Okay, this was the column name and these are the value inside my data frame, inside my this column. Similarly with respect to also in this class, in today's class, we are just going to understand some functions inside pandas that we are using inside a real life. Okay, now just try to understand one thing, guys. When I was learning these things, right, so I basically had a lot of doubts that I was able to do this data frame and all the things, but are we using these things in real life or not, or these things are just for a practice purpose? Okay, so I was basically having a lot of doubts when I was learning these things, but today whatever function I'm just going to discuss with all of you. Okay, we are using each and every function in real life. Okay, there are some functions that you are already aware about, but there are some other functions also. Okay, so you are basically going to learn some new functions in pandas that will be really helpful. Okay, so now let us just say let us just set this is my data frame. Okay, now okay, you can basically click over here and it will be the two things will be getting pop up. The one is code, the one is text. So whenever you are clicking on the code, the new cell will automatically get open. Okay, now this is your index. Okay, just suppose now what if I basically want to change the index over here? Okay, what basically I'm going to do at this time? Okay, so there is a function inside our pandas that is called df.set index. Okay, I basically want to set an index of this school code. Df. Okay, so over here you will be able to see that I was able to set an index over here. Okay, now why these things are important? Okay, Now, if you are working in a real life we basically face a lot of problems where there are two CSVs, two different kinds of data, and we basically want to merge these things, but at that time we cannot use merge. Okay, we basically want to see which files are matching. So at that time, if you basically want to compare two CSV, so you can basically use a set index at that time. Okay, so you, if you basically have two different CSVs, so you are able to set an index as a file name. After that, you can basically compare the values of that particular file name. Okay, that's why this set index is basically important. Okay, yeah, CSV is a comma separated value. Yeah, pandas. So yeah, guys, again, similarly, with respect to other things, if I basically want to set an index of school code, now if I basically want to set an index with this PID, that is nothing but an ID, so I can even run this thing. Okay, so yeah, you will be able to see that I was able to set index at a STID only. Okay, now yeah, you can basically make a data frame, but there are many other things that you basically have to do. So we are basically going to discuss this thing, like what are the others pandas functions that we basically can use. Okay, so Deepesh, yeah, this was for you. Now let us discuss about some other things also. Now, okay, the same thing. Now let us just assume that, okay, this is your data frame. Okay, these are basically your two data frames which are basically having some sort of a same values, I can say. Okay, I can see the index. I'm just giving here a customized index, and over here I'm just giving a float index. Okay, so let me just run this cell. Yeah, it got executed. Now if I basically want to check a index of this thing, this data frame, I can basically type this thing. Okay, so I will be able to see an index over here. Okay, similarly, if I basically want to check an index of this thing, I can basically do the same thing over here. We are basically checking an index over here. Shivani, yeah. Basically, in data analysis, we have to play with the data. We have to use all these functions. That's why in data analysis is not just about plotting some kind of a graphs. Okay, this is not data analysis. There's a lot of pre-processing that you have to do with respect to pandas data frame. Okay, now you are just checking a index till here, because what was difficult in this thing, because we are just setting an index at this time. Okay, we was able to create some kind of a data frame, and over here we have just created a ID. Okay, that we have dot set index. Okay, so we was able to see a index as a ID name. Okay, now let us just discuss about some other functions inside the data frame. Now so okay, let me just look into the chat. Okay, date range, yeah. Just give me a second, guys. Yeah. So this was with respect to the index. Okay, but if what if we basically want to create a date time format? Okay, so at that time what we are basically going to do, let me also discuss this thing with all of you. So if you basically want to create a date for all of your data frames, Okay, suppose you are able to get some kind of a CSV, but on that CSV you have to add one more column, that is date, on the year wise, maybe on the month wise, maybe on the day wise. So we are just going to see how you can basically do this thing. Okay, because we are just going to implement these things. Okay, whenever we are just discussing about a real time data set, whenever we are doing a ED on a real time data set, so we are just going to implement all these things at that time. So now in the date time format, I basically have to pass some kind of a parameters. The first one that you are able to see over here, that is this start. Okay, start, I'm just passing a start over here, and now I'm just passing my date. Let's say 2022. Okay, and here I'm just passing a month, and here I'm just again passing a date. Okay, now here also I'm just passing a time as well. Okay, because in real life we basically have to work with the time also. Okay, now I'm just passing a time also over here, and now I will be able to create a date with respect to the time. Now I basically have to define a parameter that is basically called frequency. Okay, now the frequency, yeah, the video will be available. Okay, so now the frequency is basically, I'm just going to select a S. Okay, now what is basically this S? This is nothing but this is basically your second. The S basically means second. Now I also have to define a output. Output is basically going to be 10. Okay, that I'm just telling that give me 10 output. Okay, now let me just create a data frame of this thing. That basically I'm going to create. Okay, whenever you are just seeing a output, for sure you will be able to understand this thing. Okay, so I have basically created a 10 of this thing, so I'm just going to create a 10 output. So these are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, these are basically my 10 output that I was able to create. Now I basically want to set an index over here, so it is just going to be index is equal to dt range that basically I have created. Okay, now let me just see my output. Okay, just give me a second. Yeah, and now let me just see my output, so you will be able to understand what we have did. Okay, now just see here, I have just passed a frequency of S and I have just passed a period of 10. That means for it is just going to give me a 10 output, and it is just going to return me, this is with respect to the value that I have passed. Seconds is basically getting increased, we are just incrementing 1 second. Okay, this was with respect to the second. Now let me just create these things with respect to minute. Okay, yeah, M basically represent the month. So you can basically see over here, this is with respect to the 1 month, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, if I basically want to implement these things with respect to the hours, so I can basically pass H. Because we are passing a frequency over here, Dipesh. Okay, this is a parameter, right? But we also have to pass a frequency. If I'm just passing a year over here also, it is just going to increment the years. Okay, this is how we are basically creating a new value inside our CSV that we already have. Okay, yeah, right, Muhammad Salim, yeah. So basically guys, these are some inbuilt functions. Okay, but just see one thing, in data science also you basically have to explore these things. Okay, these functions and all the things because I am not the one who have basically implemented these things. PD.date range. Just go on the documentation of Pandas. Okay, just go on the documentation of Pandas over here. Okay, they will be explaining you each and everything, like pd.read csv. They are saying if you are using this Pandas library, this is how you can basically read a csv by performing this operation. Okay, and they are again saying that if you want to basically see 8 rows of the Pandas data frame, just type dot head 8. This is what they have explained you. This is how you are going to work in a real life. Things are not going to be that much easy that your seniors are basically going to help you in each and every line of your code. You have to learn these things. We are just using some kind of a inbuilt functions, a one line of functions we are using over here. We are not using anything out of the world. No, we are just using these functions only. Okay, now, so this is the basically my Google Colab. Let me just open something so you will be able to understand this thing more clearly. Okay, yeah, let me just directly open my this thing. Okay, because we do not have that much of time, so you can basically I'm going to share this notebook with all of you, so you will be able to run these codes line by line. Okay, so now till over here I think we have discussed this thing. Just give me a second. This is pd.date range. Till here we have basically discussed these things. Okay, now let us just say if someone is telling you write a Pandas program to create a data frame and set a title or name of the index column. So how you are basically going to do this thing? Let me just write these things line by line so you will be able to understand this. Okay, basically it is getting executed because this is my new notebook. That's why it is taking a little bit more time. But yeah, over here I was able to execute. A second. Now over here I am just seeing first of all my data frame, how my data frame is being like. So this is basically my data frame, just see over here. Okay, now what operation basically I am performing over here. Okay, I am just going to set a name of my index. So with respect to this thing, this df, I can basically set a name as an index name. If there is some kind of an index and you can see there is no name of the index. Okay, so we are just going to set a name of an index with respect to this function. All the functions are just going to have a single line of code. This is what basically you have to do over here. Okay, now let us discuss about the next problem, okay, that we can basically solve with respect to Pandas. Okay, now suppose write a Pandas a program to set value in a specific cell in a given data frame. If this is your data frame and you basically want to insert a value something over here, okay, let us just say any name. Okay, let us just say John or maybe Paul or any name I basically want to insert over here. So how I'm going to basically perform this operation? Okay, so this is basically what we are going to discuss over here. Now over here you can basically directly pass df.add and you are just going to select your index name, that is your T6, and you are just telling it comma school code, that is this one. Okay, over here you are able to see that this is the code S004, but we are changing it to S005. Okay, so let me just run these things line by line so you will be able to understand these things. This is my data frame that you are able to see over here. Now let me just change the value of this one as S005. Okay, now let me just see my df. That is my data frame. So now you can basically see my value has been changed from S004 to S005. This is how you can basically change the values. Okay, now let us just say you want to even change more values. Okay, over here that we are basically discussing, let us just say you basically want to change this value at t1. Okay, and at t1 date of birth you basically have to change. You want to change it to 1605-202. So you can basically perform these things. That df.add, first of all you have to pass the index value, and in the second parameter you have to pass the column name. Okay, and is equal to is basically you are replacing this value. Okay, this is what we are basically doing. Now let us just discuss about the next operation that we are basically going to study. Okay, so now write a pandas program to convert index of a given data frame into a column. Okay, you are able to get an index, but how you can convert that index into a column? Because here we have just seen that this was a column t1, t2, t3, t4, t5, t6. I was able to convert this column into an index. But if I want to convert these things, okay, if I basically want to convert these things back to the column, how basically I can perform this operation? Okay, this is what we are basically going to discuss. This is again my data frame, and let me just type df and df over here. Df dot reset index label is equal to 0. We just have to pass this thing. And there is other option that we are passing. In place is equal to true. Basically in place means if I'm not passing a in place, I have to pass a different variable over here, which will be storing the value of my this variable to this variable. Okay, and if you are feeling these things are little bit hard, guys, trust me, you have to study a lot of things. Okay, these things are not that much hard. Just try to look these things for 1 or 2 times only. Okay, you will be able to understand each and everything. Okay, now this is how I can basically create my index to column. Okay, this is what we are doing. Now over here, let us just say this is our next problem with respect to data set, because in tomorrow class we are just going to work with a real life data set. At that time, okay, we have to make these things on a demo data. Okay, just tell me guys, is these things are little bit difficult, or you all are able to get these things with respect to pandas? Can I get some kind of a confirmation from all of you? And what kind of a difficulties that you are basically facing over here? Okay, so yeah, I think we can move forward. So pd.data frame, what basically I am doing over here, I am just setting a multiple indexes. Till now we have only discussed about that how to set a single index, but what if I basically want to set a multiple indexes? Okay, yeah, things are going to be little bit technical, guys, because you have till now you have did only these things, like a is equal to 2 plus 4. Okay, it will be giving you some kind of a output. Okay, now let us just say this is your list one. Okay, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4, you are able to get this thing. Okay, now can anyone tell me how you can basically convert this list to other data type like a string? Yeah, it is a basic concept. Anita, you are right. Yeah, Anish. Because in even whenever you are getting inside some kind of a company like a AI company or something, okay, so at that time also you have to keep studying related to the new fields, okay, like natural language processing, deep learning, these fields. Okay, so now can anyone will tell me how to convert this list into a string? Okay, I'm going to make all these things easy line by line. Okay, now let us just see these things, okay, from a different perspective. Now these just do not understand this line. This is nothing. This line is nothing. Okay, now let me just export this thing first of all, or let me just import a CSV over here. Okay, this is the data that we are basically going to understand. Okay, no set list, no data list. I'm saying basically you can, yeah, you can convert this thing into a tuple by this, and set is basically means you are just removing a duplicate. Ajit, yeah, I'm just going to make these things little bit more simpler. Yeah, Kajal, I can feel your pain, but just try to understand. I am also from a non-technical background. I'm also from mechanical background. I'm basically a mechanical engineer. Okay, so these things was also tough for me at that time, but what I was doing, I was just keep revising all these things. Okay, because just see guys, try to do some kind of a hard work, because just trust me, this is the last hard work of your life. After that your life is going to be a bit shorter, not a bit, like it will be a lot shorter. You do not have to do this much of hard work at that time. Okay, now this is basically my CSV. Okay, now I'm just going to read a CSV right now, nothing else. pd dot uh, read CSV, and I'm just passing my path over here. So I was able to read a CSV over here. Okay, now this is my CSV. I think all of you have did this thing. Okay, all of you have did this thing also, reading the CSV. Now let us just do the same implementation that we was doing. Okay, now let me just first of all select a value, as I can say a race will be good. Okay, now I am just going to copy the same code over here, nothing else. Okay, I have basically used a data variable over here, okay, in which my CSV is stored. Right, now let me just pass this thing, and here I'm just going to take a column that is going to be your race. Let me just clear these things. Data, okay, sorry, yeah, just see this thing. This is my data. What I have did till now, data is equal to pd.read CSV, and I have just passed the path of my CSV, nothing else. After that, I have just did data.set index race. Now my index is this one. This is the same thing that we was doing. Do not get confused with this code, because this code is nothing but it is just creating a CSV like this. Okay, now, okay, it is good that many of you are able to understand these things. We have to discuss a lot of things in today's class only. After that, we will be discussing a real-time project. Because guys, just try to understand these things. After this class, I'm going to share this notebook with all of you. Just try to go through with each and every line of code. Now let me just tell you a secret here. In real life, when I was learning these things, I basically had a notebook where I was just writing each and every line of a code. But just understand one thing, guys. You do not have to remember even a single line of code for implementing these things. I'm just going to show you, even without knowing any kind of a code, how you can implement these things. Okay. So how? Because just try to understand the concept. Just do not memorize the code, because you are not a storing machine, guys. Okay, just try to understand the scenario. Now for this same code, the same code is basically available on net. What I have to do, yeah, for sure I'm going to use a data file also, but we are basically going to use this data file in the tomorrow class. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, str1 Hardik, basically you are right. This is how we can convert this thing, a string to list to string. So yeah, just open your Google, okay, and type one thing. Okay, we just have to do a Google search, nothing else. Okay, let me just do a Google search. If I do not know any kind of a code, how I can basically implement this thing. So how to set index in pandas, that's it. Let me just open this site. Okay, let me just see these things. So yeah, over here I basically got my result. They are saying import pandas spd, read the csv, and did data.set index first name, that is basically present in my this csv. This is the thing that you have to do. Okay, now the same thing. Okay, you do not have to remember any kind of a code. How to convert a list into string in Python. Okay, yeah, they are basically showing you, yeah, over here you can even perform this operation. So you just have to do a Google search. You do not have to remember any line of a code, but you have to remember the logic and what keywords you have to use while doing a Google search. Df is nothing but it is a variable, okay, in which I am storing my data frame, like this data. What I have did over here, data is equal to pd.read csv. If I'm just going to call a data, it will be able to give me this data frame, because ये एक वेरिएबल है जिसके अंदर मैंने अपनी वैल्यूज को स्टोर किया है, नथिंग एल्स. अगर मैं डेटा 1 पास करूंगा तो देखो अब क्या होगा. ये बोल रहा है कि डेटा 1 इज नॉट डिफाइंड. There is no data 1 variable that is defined, because I have stored my this value, okay, inside a data variable. Okay, so you can pass anything over here, anything. I can even pass my name over here, it will be able to give me result. Satyam. Let me just pass Satyam. Okay, and these things are very bit easy, guys. If you have not joined any kind of a data science course, and if you are looking for a data science course, please join LetsUpgrade, because we are just providing you a lot of things we are basically providing you, we are basically teaching our students in a short period of time, and we are basically giving them a lot of knowledge. Okay, on the full stack course. No, you do not have to remember the syntax, Sunny Kumar Sharma, right? Because just if you basically even want to remember the syntax, just try to keep practice for like 1 or 2 days only. Just make some kind of a notes, okay, and just try to look them for like every day. That will be enough for you. Okay, because if I'm just talking about a syntax is nothing else. If you are working with if you are daily working with respect to the code, if you are daily working with respect to some kind of a EDA thing, okay, exploratory data analysis, that we are basically going to discuss in tomorrow class. So you are basically going to use each and every line of a code in on daily basis. Okay, so yeah, in the beginning these things are a little bit tough and all these functions are new to you, but just try to understand one thing. What you are doing inside a code, can I say you are just passing a single line of code over here, data.setIndex. What is difficult in this? We are just setting an index as a column name. A one line of code we are just using over here. So just try to understand these things. Okay, yeah. So now let us just discuss about, yeah, we was able to set up two different axes also. Now what if this is your data frame? Okay, let me separate all these things so you will not get confused. Just see over here what I have did. I have again used a DF, that is nothing but a data frame, a short form of this thing. Okay, so this is how my data is looking right now after passing this thing. If you are like joining Let's Upgrade, okay, Sunny Kumar Sharma, and so I can say in maximum 4 to 5 days you will be able to understand all the things from like end-to-end things in data analysis. Okay, things are not that much tough. Okay, because for the first time, thank you, Mohammed. And like for the first time, if even I am seeing something, that thing is basically a lot of I can say a bit of tough for me. Okay, even I was not able to understand because we all are humans. Okay, no, index number can be non-unique, they can be repeat, but it is like up to you what you are setting at the index. Okay, we are basically going to discuss these things in more detail. Do not worry about this thing. Okay, just now just try to understand this line by line code. Okay, a single line of code that we are basically using. Just try to understand this thing. Okay, so yeah, I was telling, if even I am seeing something new today, some kind of a new technology, I have to do a research on it. Now what do I mean by a research? I have to do a Google searches. Okay, because in Let's Upgrade, okay, we are even teaching things with respect to the research paper. Now what is research paper? Okay, if someone has implemented something in the AI field, artificial intelligence, let it be machine learning, deep learning, or anything. Okay, so they are first of all representing a research papers. Researchers are representing a research paper where they are just explaining the working of that particular model, like let it be linear regression and logistic regression, if you are aware about little bit of machine learning. Okay, so we are discussing a research paper in our Let's Upgrade classes. We are teaching our student this thing because in future, if you are just landing inside an industry, okay, if you are going for any kind of a job in data science and they are basically working on some kind of a new technology, so you will be able to prepare all these things from your end. Okay, this is what we are doing in Let's Upgrade. And just trust me, guys, just trust me. If you are joining some other training companies, sir, will we get notes from you? Yeah, for sure. Just guys, if you're joining any other training company, just trust me, they will not even allow you to have a conversation with the mentors. But in Let's Upgrade, we even have a separate groups on WhatsApp with all of our students. Okay, and the information, the basically the knowledge that Let's Upgrade is basically providing you in some sort of a months. Okay, for sure these things are going to be a lot of, I can say, these things are going to help you. Okay, inside if you are switching your career as a data scientist or something, Okay, so these things are going to help you. So let us just try to understand the other things also. Now, first of all, try to understand the scenario. After that, we will be implementing these things. Okay. Now, just see this thing. I have two values over here: sale 1, sale 1, sale 2, sale 2, sale 3, sale 3, sale 4, sale 4. Same as city. Now, is there anything, okay, that I can basically create? Like if I am passing a sales 1, how many cities are falling inside a sales 1? Okay, like sales 1 is representing city 1, because these are the values which are connected to each other. Okay, I will be providing you card, do not worry about that. So these values are connected to each other. Now how? Let us suppose this is your name and this is your age, this is your friend's name, this is your friend's age. Okay, so if I basically want to know, like if I'm passing sales 1, how many cities are belonging to sales 1 with respect to sales 2, 3 and 4? Okay, so how I can basically check this thing? Let us just try to understand this thing. The same thing, Ajit, like Pandas only, OS library, Globe library is there, and other libraries are there. We are using the same thing. Okay, this was the confusion that I was having when I was learning these things. But we are using only these things only. We are using the simple for loop. We are just using a simple while loop. These are the things that we are using over here. Okay, so now there is a function called list zip. Okay, so what basically it is returning you, let us just try to understand. We are basically storing these things inside a variable, first of all. Okay, so first of all, let us just try to understand the zip one. Zip is nothing, it is just going to cover the values like sales 1 with city 1, sales 2 with city 2. Okay, this is how my zip is basically working. Okay, okay, it is basically an array. So let us just try to understand. And I'm just passing a list in front of it, where I'm just saying the output that I want, that should be in a format of list. Okay, that's why I have passed a list over here. Now this is the variable that I have passed. If I want to set a multiple index, okay, with the name of city and sales, okay, on the basis of city and sales, I will be getting value. Okay, let us just try to understand even these things. This is your I can say this is your name, this is your age, this is your friend's name, this is your friend's age. Similarly with all the things. Now these things, I can say these things on the base, and you also have third column, that basically I can say a salary. So it is just going to give you a value. On the basis of that, you can basically decide if my friend's name is this, my friend age is this, what the salary amount that he is having. Okay, if there are multiple names and multiple ages, so you can basically calculate what is the average age with respect to this age, what is the average what is the average salary with respect to this age, what is the average salary with respect to the name or some other thing. Yes, we use some kind of IDs like VS Code, PyCharm, Sublime. Okay, these are the IDs that we are using in a real life. So let me just run this thing now. What I have did over here, again I have passed a one line of function, pd dot multiple index dot from tuple. Okay, where I'm just passing my this variable sales tuple, and I'm naming these things as a sale and a city. Now let us just see the output first of all. Okay, this is going to be, let me just run this s1 only. Yeah, just see this thing. This is sales, name of my column, this is also name of my column. Sale 1 is representing city 1, city 2, again sale 2, city 1 and city 2, and these are the values that I have randomly generated over here. Okay, I know this code was little bit tough. Okay, but do not worry about this thing. You do not even have to remember a single line of code that I'm writing over here, because all of these codes are already available on Google. You just have to understand the logic that for a multiple, you just have to write on a Google that how to set multiple indexes in pandas. You will be able to get this answer over there. Okay, now same thing. Okay, yeah. So okay, okay, no, not this thing. Yeah. So here we are telling that how to sort a multiple index. Okay, so this is what basically we are going to understand. And I think I also have a sort function. Okay, this is with respect to the sort index. Okay, now what is this sort index? Let us just try to understand. Let me just divide each and every line of code so you will be able to see the implementation, how things are working. This is my data frame, how it is looking like. BF. City one, these are some values that I am basically having over here, but this is my data frame. These two are my index right now. Okay, now here I just have to sort a index over here. Okay, now let us just have a look how my data frame is going to look after a sorting. Okay, now sales 1, sales 3, sales 2, sales 4 was there previously, but now I was able to sort these things 1, 2, 3, 4 in a sequence way. Can I say you are having a clear visualization right now? Okay, you was first of all saying, okay, this is sales 1, sales 3, why sales 3, why sales 2 is not there? Okay, sales 2 again then sales 4. Okay, but why these things are not sorted? But can I say data analysis is all about a clear visualization? Can I say I was able to do a little bit of I will be able to create a little bit of clarity over here when I was able to sort these things. And what function basically I have passed? Just a single line of code, that is sort underscore index, nothing else. Okay, this is the thing that I have passed. Okay, now let us just discuss. This was with respect to the index only, guys. Now let us just jump towards the okay, now let us just jump towards the data frame. Okay, now what is basically data frame and how we can basically manipulate with a data frame. Okay, now this is my data, that is exam data. Over here I am just passing pd.data frame exam data, this variable, and index is equal to label. Now let me just do one thing over here. Let me just do not pass the index, and let me just see what output I am able to get. Okay, I'm getting this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For a default purpose, I'm just going to get this one only. But if I am going to pass an index is equal to labels, let us just see what output I will be able to get. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. This is the thing that only a single parameter I have passed while creating a data frame. Because this is nothing, this is a dictionary. Okay, this is my key, these all are my values. This is my key, these all are my values. This is my key, these all are my values. Okay, over here in index, so pd.data frame, I have just passed my dictionary, and over here I have just passed a label as an index, nothing else. Okay, now after this, let us just try to understand. Okay, yeah, there was something left over here. Yeah, so just see this thing, guys. These are the columns that are present over here. But if I want only name and score, or if I want only name and attempts, or if I want only name and qualify, or like any two columns or any three columns, so how I'm basically going to do that? Okay, so this is called a filtering inside a pandas. Okay, now I just have to pass the variable, this variable df. Okay, and I am just passing a name and a score, like this column and this column. Just see, now I will be able to get only 2 columns over here. This is the pre-processing that you have to do inside an industry with respect to the same code. No changes will be there. Okay, are you able to get these things, guys? I think now you are able to get these things, okay? Because in the starting, the things was a little bit tough, but like as you are just seeing a new function and you are just understanding how things are working with respect to only single line of code, okay? You just have to remember the concept only. Do not remember the code, okay? Again, I'm telling you. And one more thing, if basically you have to perform these things, you can basically go on Google and just type how to select some columns from a data frame in Pandas. You will be able to get this answer. Okay, because this is why I'm again and again telling you, you do not have to remember the code. Okay, let me again show you this thing. How to select some columns in Pandas. Okay, yeah, it was able to create a data frame. Now just see, same thing that I was able to find. If I'm just copying and pasting this code, for sure this is going to run in my case. Okay, are you able to get these things, guys? Is my explanation is helping you, like about the Google search and all the things with respect to the real life, the information that I'm sharing with all of you? Okay, now can I get some kind of a confirmation, guys? Okay, so basically this is my DF. Okay, I've created over here a dummy data set, name, score, attempts, and qualify. Okay, now what I am going to do here, they have written write a Python program to select the specific column and rows. If I want to select only some rows from here and some columns from here, okay, how I'm going to do that? Just see, if you got stuck in a real life, that your manager is telling you, okay, just give me this much, this much of rows and this much of columns. How you are going to do that in a real life if you haven't studied about this thing? Okay, so what we are basically going to do over here, there is a function called df.ilock, basically iLocation. And there are two functions, df.ilock and df.lock. Okay, so in lock we are passing a variable name, but in iLock we are just passing a positions. Let me just run this code so you will be able to understand these things. First of all, I have passed 1356. Now what values I am having at the index of 1356? 0 1. This is my 1. B was there, right? And what was the score at B? 9. Yeah, this was the thing that I was able to get over here. And what is the qualify status? That is no. Now what is the value present over in the third, fifth, and sixth index? So 0 1, this is 1, and 2 3, this is my third index. 4 5, 4 5, this is my fifth index, and this is my sixth one. And what is the column value that I am having over here? 1 and 3. Okay, so 0 1, this is my 1, 2 3. So I have selected these things. Yeah, for sure, Venkat, I'm going to share the IPy-NV file. Yeah, Subodh, if I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrongly. So yeah, you basically have to use some good keywords at that time. No, no, Ajit, no. There are lots of interviews in data science who are just telling you, okay, use Google for this problem, because they just want to see your solving up some solving problem. Okay, in which way you are just solving the problem. You do not have to memorize these codes. That's why I'm explaining these things again and again. If you are getting stuck in some kind of a new problem, okay, how will you know the answer? How will you know the library? For sure you are you are doing a Google search at that time. Each and everyone is doing a Google search inside an industry. Okay, there is no one who can write the whole code from their own without even doing a single Google search. Okay, so the interviewer basically, if you are just going to use the Google, okay, use the Google, there's no problem. Okay, but just try to solve this problem. Okay, yeah. So just okay, now let me say I want to select the zero, this column name one and attempts. Okay, and let me just write some rows over here. So I'm just going to write df dot my index. So let me just say 0 1 3. I basically want to pass 0 1 3. Now I want to pass my columns, that is name and attempts. So 0 1 2. So 0 and 2 I'm going to pass. Let me just see what output I'm going to get. Yeah, name and attempts I was able to get as a column, and these A, B, and D I was able to get because these are the values that I have passed. Okay. Which tools are required for this data analysis? Guys, if I'm just talking about a core data analysis, this is the starting. Okay, if I'm just talking about a core data analysis, you are just going to use a Pandas if you are using Python. Pandas is enough for doing a data analysis. Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, these are the libraries that we are going to discuss. Plotly, these are the libraries that in tomorrow class we are going to discuss. Okay, and there are some visualization tools as well, like Power BI and Tableau. These are the only two tools that we are using inside our industry. So a knowledge of one of them is good if you basically want to land on a data analysis job. Okay, so this write a Python program to select the rows where the number of attempts in the examination is greater than 2. This is what we basically have to do. Okay, now first of all, let us try to understand a simple problem over here. This is my list one. Okay, now I just want to print going to do for I in L1. Okay, if I okay, so yeah, I will be able to get 5 7 8. So this is what they are saying over here. Write a Pandas program to select the rows where the number of attempts in examination is greater than 2. These are the attempts. So I basically want to select those students who have basically given more than 2 attempts. Okay, so the same concept I am basically going to use over here. After that, I'm just doing a filtering. Now, what is a filtering over here? Let us just try to understand. I'm just passing a df, again a df. I basically have to pass. After that, I have to pass my column name, and I'm just passing greater than 2. Yeah, you will be able to see attempts are 333. Name, score, and qualify is there. Okay. So if I'm just passing 1, it will be able to give me result with respect to 1 also. Look, 3 2 3 2 3 2 3 2. Okay. Now, so over here we are saying write a pandas program to count the number of rows and columns of our data frame. Okay. Basically, I want to know how much rows I basically have, and how many columns I basically have. Okay. So what I'm going to do over here, this is my data frame. Now, there is two techniques for solving this thing. Let me just discuss the first one first of all. Okay. Yeah, this will be good. If you are basically looking for the rows, you just have to pass df.axex and 0. 0 is basically means the row, and 1 is basically means the column. So it is saying 4 column you are having, and you are having a 10 rows. But if I'm just going to pass df.shape, you will be able to get these things. It is telling you 10 rows and 4 columns. You do not have to pass these things. You just have to pass df.shape. It will be telling you the first value will be representing the rows and the second value is representing the column. Okay. Now, so write a pandas program to select the rows where the score is missing. Okay. There is a big problem that we basically face with respect to the missing values. Okay. So how we are basically going to do that? There is nan values over here that are missing values. Okay, just see nan. Now, I just have to pass in score where are missing values. I just have to pass this thing. So I'm just going to pass df, the name of my data frame. Okay, in the variable where I have stored this thing, df score is null, and I have just have to pass this thing. Okay, sorry. Yeah. It will be giving me result over here. But in score, these are the values that are none. These all things come inside our data analysis, guys. Okay. Now, uh, yeah, head is basically you are just going to get top values of your data frame. If you are just passing this head, top 5 values you are basically able to get. Okay, this is your head option. Now let me just pass head 10. So it is just going to give 10 starting values. Now let me just pass tail, and it will be giving you bottom 5 values. Just see FGHIK. Okay. Now, write a Python program to select the rows where the number of attempts in the examination is less than 2 and greater than 5. Now, over here, what we have did this thing. Okay. Yeah. But if my attempts is greater than 1, but if I also want to pass 2 conditions. Okay. Now, so what we are going to do over here, we are just going to type df attempts, okay, less than 2, and df's attempt is basically this much, okay, greater than 50. So I will be able to get my answer over here. Okay, just see. Okay, so this is the end condition that we are basically passing. Either you can yeah, this is in the time you have to pass this condition only. Okay, for the end purpose. Now, yeah, just see this thing, what we are basically doing over here. We are able to create a data frame. Now let me just have a look into my data frame. This is my data frame. Now if I want to insert a new value over here, a full new value, how basically I'm going to do that? Here I'm just doing df.log, that is k. Okay, here I'm just passing one more variable inside our index, and here I'm just passing one Suresh and yes and 15.5. Let me just have a look into my df. Just see, one Suresh, yes, 15.5. This is what we have did over here. Yeah, I'm going to discuss all these things in the tomorrow class. Okay, how you can basically read a multivariate graph. So we are going to discuss all these things in tomorrow class, where we will be working with respect to the real-time data set. Okay, so you basically have some kind of a good knowledge with respect to the EDA. Okay, now this is the thing. Now, what if I basically want to drop this thing? Okay, I just have to pass df.drop k. Now let me just again see my df, my data frame. You can see there is no k now. With respect to this k, you was able to pass these values. You can pass any value. You can even pass a j, k, j, q, anything after this thing. Okay. Now, what they are saying, write a Python program to sort the data frame first by name in descending order. Okay, and then by score in ascending order. They are saying select the name in the descending order and the score in the ascending order. So how we are going to perform this one? Let us just try to understand this. Over here, I was able to create my data frame df. Okay, I just have to pass df dot sort values. Now by what? By name and by score. And ascending false for name, true for score. Yes. Yes, so both. We basically use a drop for dropping some kind of a value. Now, df dot sort by name score. Now, ascending false for this one, true for this one. Just see this thing now. Yeah, it is like working. Okay. Now the score is, I can say, yeah, it is working. So you can basically see the over score over here. Okay. Now let us just discuss about. Okay, I think in this true. Is it taking my inpress function? Yeah. You can see over here. Now we have basically sorted these things. Now we have a score in ascending format and a name in the descending format. Okay. Basically, in place is equal to true. What is in place is equal to true. Okay. Basically, if you are not passing a in place is equal to true, it is not deleting or it is not performing that operations for the further processes. For the instance, it is going to give you a result. But if you want to use the same variable like a data, if I have made some kind of a change inside a data, but I want basically I want to use that data after making the change for the next process. So I have to pass in place is equal to true. Okay, because if I'm not passing in place is equal to true, this operation is not going to happen on this data frame. Okay, yeah, true false is ascending false means the value should not be in ascending. True means the value should be in ascending format. Now let me just give you again good clarification. First of all, I have to run this thing again. Okay, let me just take only one value. Okay, that going to be score, and let me just take ascending is equal to true, so you will be able to understand these things. Now just see, ascending is equal to true. First of all, the small value is going to came up over here. After that, it is just going to increase. Now let me just pass a false. Okay, just see this thing. Now my greater value is coming over here. After that, smaller, smaller, smaller. Yeah, Neha, I'm explaining you the this thing also. Okay, now let us just say this is my df. I want to drop the name. Okay, so df dot drop name, and I have to pass the axis also. X is equal to 1. That means column wise. Okay, now it will be able to drop these things. You are able to see over here, right, Neha? I have dropped the name one. But now, again, let me call my df over here. Now, again, the name is coming over here. I have already dropped these things. But now, why it is showing me? Okay, so I have to pass comma in place is equal to true. Now again, let me again run this thing. Now name is gone. Okay, there is no column name as a name. I can even do the same with respect to all these things. So if you are not passing a in place at that time, so you will be not getting a result. Are you able to get this thing, Neha? Okay, good. So yeah, over here I was able to sort these things. No, they are saying write a pandas program to replace the qualify column contains the values yes and no with true and false. Okay, so how we can perform this thing? Okay, okay, axis is equal to 1. If I'm going to pass axis is equal to 0, 0 basically means a row wise, this row wise. Okay, and 1 is basically means this column wise. So there will be no value on the axis 0 first of all. So it is going to return me an error. Okay, so whenever I basically want to drop this thing a column, I have to pass axis is equal to 1. Okay, yeah. So right now, yeah, this is my data frame. Okay, now what I basically want to do over here, they are telling me that there are yes or no. Just replace these things with true and false. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm just going to call df qualify df qualify is equal to df qualify dot map. Yes, I basically have to pass these values as yes or no. So yes means the value that is present. Now true, by the value I want to replace these things. Then again no, and by the value I basically want to replace these things, true and false. This is what I'm passing over here. Okay, so if I'm just going to run these things, yeah, you are able to see these things that I have changed the value. Now if in future I basically want to change anything, I basically want to replace these things, so I just have to pass this thing dot map yes, true, no, false, nothing else. Okay, now write a pandas program to delete the attempts columns from the data frame. Okay, how to delete the columns? Okay, we have seen the drop. Yeah, for sure you can use a drop and this other method also that we are using over here. Okay, df.pop, I just have to call df.pop, so my attempts will not be over here. Okay, I can do the same thing with respect to the score and all the things. Okay, if you are using a drop, it is basically you have to pass in place and the axis. But if you are using a pop, you do not have to pass these things. Yeah, you can even use a replace over here, but there are for doing the same things there are various different methods. So that's why we are discussing all those methods. Okay, Yeah, functions also. Okay, so df.pop attempts df. So this is how I am basically not passing even in place. I'm not even passing my access. So it will be able to delete these things. Now, just tell me one thing now. Okay. In real life, what happened, guys? We basically got stuck somewhere. Okay. Now, if I'm just passing this thing df. Okay. Now I want to pass my these column values one by one. So you might be thinking that I can pass these things in this way. For I in df, and I can just pass the name over here, and I can just print I. Okay, so I will be able to get all the names. Okay, no, but just suppose in a real life, if I just want to print this name one by one or this score one by one. Okay, so what I have to do at that time, there is a function. Yeah, it's a keyword. So there is a function. Pop is not a keyword, it is a function inside your pandas only. Okay, now so for index comma rows in dt.iter rows, iter rows is the function that we basically have. Okay, so with that we can basically iterates our columns values. Okay, and df.iter rows is basically returns us two values. Okay, it basically returns us two values, right? The first one is going to be index, the second one is going to be row. Now I can even place a dt over here. Dt is nothing but a data. Now let me just print these things line by line. Print index zero. Zero basically means my name. Okay, so two values only. Yeah, it is a built-in function, Ajit, you are right. Okay, index zero, it is not taken, I don't know why. Okay, so I basically have to pass, just give me a second, dt 0. Yeah, dt 0 basically means my name. Okay, now after that I can even print dt 1. That is basically representing my score. So this is one of the way that you can iter these things. Okay, now let us just suppose why this thing is needed. df.iter rows. Now you might be thinking I can do the same thing with respect to the for loop. Okay, so yeah, for sure, let us just try to do this thing. For I in df, and what was this thing, name. Okay, print I. Okay, for j in df, I can pass what was the score. Okay, print j. You are just able to see it is just printing these things. After that, it is printing all the things. After that, it is printing these things. After that, it is printing all the things, all the values. It is not printing things line by line. Okay, so that's why we are using iter rows. If I'm using iter rows, it is giving me first of all this value or this value. After that, it is giving me this value dema, and it is giving me the score of dema. After that, it is giving me this name, and after that, it is giving me this score. Okay, so this is what we are doing inside iter rows. That's why iter rows are important. Okay, okay, now okay, now we are moving to the next function. Guys, are you able to understand all these things? Because I am just explaining each and everything like line by line. I'm even explaining you the code line by line. Still are you facing any kind of a difficulties or not? Can I get a confirmation, guys? Little bit confirmation from some of the peoples. Okay. This is basically our Let's Upgrade platform, okay, where you can enroll yourself into full stack data science program. We are basically teaching you this much of libraries. Right now, we are just discussing with respect to Pandas, but there is something called Keras, NLTK, sklearn, TensorFlow, okay, a PyTorch. We are discussing all these things with all of our students. A line by line explanation we are doing over here. Okay, now just see. Okay, let me just show you the syllabus. Yeah, this is basically our syllabus. There is no eligibility, I can say, basically. Okay, the duration of the course is basically mentioned, all the things is mentioned. We are teaching you the latest technologies, okay, where we are working on an industry, on which basically we are working on industry. We are teaching all of our students the latest technologies, so you will not finding any kind of a difficulty whenever you are learning inside our industry. Okay, we are even teaching the technologies that Google is using. There is something called transformer birds and all the things. We are teaching our student that part also. Okay, we are doing a real life projects. Okay, whatever we are doing inside our industry, we are teaching our student that also. So you are just going to land up on a high level package if you basically know all these things. This is what we are doing inside our Let's Upgrade, guys. Okay, now, yeah, for sure. Anita, Kajal, and Subodh. Yeah, yeah, and Ajit also, and Anita also. Yeah, these in the starting, because whenever we are seeing something new, okay, for sure we are just going to face some kind of a difficulties, but not after that. Okay, now what they are saying: write a pandas program to get list from data frame column headers. Now, what does this thing basically means? Let us just say I have columns. First of all, let us just see the my data frame. These are my columns names. Name, score, attempts, qualify. Oh, now let me just even tell you the scenario why this thing df dot column dot values, why this is important. Yeah, we can talk about statistics also, but this is our data analysis class, so I'm just not going to talk about statistics in this one. But for sure, in Let's Upgrade, we are going to host a session on YouTube only, where we'll be discussing on this thing only, okay, on statistics. So why this thing is important? If you are aware about little bit about the data visualization, so in the data visualization we have to pass the name of the column, right? Now suppose if there are thousands of columns, or maybe 50 columns, maybe 20 columns, are you going to write the name of each and every column line by line? Okay, for sure it is going to take a lot of time of yours. Basically, if you want to draw a count plot on these things, all of these names, can I say you can just pass this after doing this operation? You can basically store this thing inside a variable, and you can just run a for loop over here, where it will be plotting each and every count plot with respect to each and every column. We are going to see these things in tomorrow class only. Parts, but in tomorrow class we are basically going to understand these things in more detail. Okay, so over here, write a pandas program to rename columns. Yeah, so how we can basically rename these things? First of all, let us just see the column. So I have basically passed df dot rename. Okay, these are basically my column names. Okay, so I have to just pass df dot rename, and I have to pass this parameter columns is equal to col1. Col1 is this one. I want to replace this thing as a column1. Col2, I want to replace this thing as a column 2. Again same with the column 3. So it will be giving me a result like this. This was my original data set, but after renaming, this was my data set after doing a renaming. Okay, now sorry Neha, what what is important data analysis job role, your knowledge about statistics? Basically I'm not able to get you. Are you asking that knowledge of statistics is important in data analysis or something else? Okay. So the next question is, what is Pandas? Write a Pandas program to select rows from a given data frame based on values in some columns. Okay. So here I'm just telling, I basically have to select if this is my original data. I just want to know. Just give me a second. I just have to pass. Basically, I wanted to know if some kind of a value is present in column one, then give me all the values of column one, column two, and column three. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to provide you these sheets. The sheets will be in the description. Okay, so do not worry about this thing. Now, how basically I can do this thing? Okay, let us just try to understand. Okay, statistics knowledge in data analysis, right? Okay, I'm going to reply these things in tomorrow class where I will be showing you how to use a statistics knowledge. Okay, whenever I'm just talking about a statistics is not just about this your t-test and ANOVA test, one-way t-test, or two-way ANOVA test, chi-square test, correlation test, and all these things. Yeah, these things are a part of statistics, but in tomorrow class I'm going to show you how to use a statistics knowledge inside a data analysis. Okay, now, so this is my original data frame. Over here, I'm just passing a location df.log, df, again df, and the column name, and I'm telling it is equal to 4. If in column 1 value is equal to 4, just return me the whole data frame. Okay, it is taking a little bit of time in running. I don't know why. Okay, yeah, but it's good that you are able to understand these things. Oh, this is just a demo. But if you are just joining Let's Upgrade, okay, we are even explaining you each and everything in more detail. Okay. And there is a EMI option. I think it is also available over here. Just you to join Let's Upgrade. Okay, some problem may have occurred over here, but yeah, over here you can basically see this thing that over here my value was 4 in column 1, and the column 2 was this, and column 3 was this. So I was able to get the same values over here. Okay, now they are saying write a Python program to change the order of a data frame columns. Yeah, this is the most important thing. This is my column data, but I want to shift my column 3 over here, column 2 over here, over here. So how I'm going to perform this thing? Let us just try to see this thing. Okay, first of all, I want to represent a column 3 over here, so I'm just passing a column name. This is the same thing that we have did previously. Let me just run this thing. Okay, you can basically type shift and enter, so your cell will be running at that time. You basically do not have to press this button each and every time. Just click on this cell, just press shift plus enter. Okay, yeah, I'm scrolling down. Okay, so just see this thing. So now so we just have to pass a column in that order only, nothing more fancy, nothing more something. Okay, okay. Now we are saying write a pandas program to count city wise number. Okay, there is a important function inside pandas, that is group by. We are going to discuss that. Now first of all, just see what group by is. Okay, and what we are doing over here. Okay, just see, this is the name of the pupils, this is the city name, Okay, now what I have did over here, I have just passed the function which will be returning me an output that these are the cities and these are the number of people who are living in this city. Okay, city name wise the people's name is not there, but people's count is there. Now what I have did over here, df1 nothing but the data frame name. In this variable I have stored my this data dot group by city. I'm grouping by these things with city. Now what do I mean by a group by? Okay, okay, let me just take another example also. Okay, yeah, can I say if there are students in the class, okay, and you are just grouping by the students with respect to the numbers, whether the student is having out of 100, whether the student is having greater than 50 or less than 50. So you will be able to group by these things and it will be able to give you a CSV where in the, just suppose the city name is the marks, okay, where you are just mentioning greater than 50 and less than 50. Okay, and it is just representing you the number. Let us just say there are out of 50 students, 20 students are basically having greater than 50 number and 30 students are basically having less than 50 number. So at that time you can use this group by. So df dot group by city dot size dot reset index number is equal to name of people. Here I have just said just size of these things, right? It is just going to return me a size. These are the people who are basically living in these cities. Okay, and the name I have basically passed, so it is just representing over here. I can even write anything as peoples. Okay, yeah. So just try to read this question and just try to read this code. I'm just coming in 1 minute, guys. Just give me a break of 1 minute only. Okay. Okay, yeah. So what we are saying over here, write a pandas program to delete data frame rows. Okay, so what we are telling over here, the row so we are just creating a this thing, a data frame, and we are just passing our data over here. And in this thing I'm just telling data frame, there are two calls. Should data dot call to should not equal to 0. This is what we are passing over here. Okay, so let us just even see the output of this thing. Okay, just give me a second. Just give me a second, guys. Let me just run this thing first of all. Okay. So yeah, here I'm just passing df dot call to should not equal to 0. So it is just returning this value. Okay, now let us just discuss about these things. Delete rows index wise. Okay, if we basically want to delete rows on the basis of index, so how we are basically going to do this thing? This is my data frame. Okay, this is my df. Now I want to basically delete these things. Okay, so how I'm basically going to do that? Df dot drop, and inside this square brackets I have to pass 5 6. Now I am using axis is equal to 0, guys. Axis is equal to 0 means row wise, and in place is equal to true. Okay, now I'm using axis is equal to 0. If I have to drop these things column wise, let me again show you the column wise. Okay, 5 6 not found in axis. Why? 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. 5 6 is there, right? I haven't run this thing. Yeah, so you will be able to 1 2 3 4 5 I or now have. Okay, now let me just do the same thing with respect to the column wise. Okay, right now I have deleted these things on the basis of row wise only. Let me just drop the product name. Let me just drop the number of units. Okay, x is equal to 0, in place is equal to 2. Now let me just pass x is equal to 1. This basically means column wise. Now let me just run this thing. Now you will be able to see, yeah, I am able to drop these things. Okay, now they are again saying write a pandas program to with an output display to see. Yeah, this is the major problem that we are facing. Let us just say if there are 15 of this thing. I think I have loaded this data set, right? And this was named as a data only. Let me again just read a CSV. Okay, data is equal to pd dot read CSV and this thing and data. Now there are 15 columns, but just tell me. Okay, you are able to see these things 15, but sometimes what happen, you will be able to see some kind of a gap over here. Okay, which will be not allowing you to see all the rows that are present over here. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are just going to use this operation, pd dot set option display dot max rows. 500 rows I basically want to see. Okay, let us just implement this thing. You can even pass this operation when you are basically importing libraries like pandas, numpy, and all the things. Okay, so this is basically my data. It is right now basically showing me starting 5 rows and tails 5 rows. But if I'm just passing this thing, and let me just pass a number of 50 only. Okay, after that I'm going to run this thing. Why it is not showing max rows? Okay, display dot max rows. I don't know why it is not showing. Uh, Columns and display dot width. It should give me a result. Let me just search this thing on Google if I have did some kind of a mistake. Okay, how to set max rows in pandas. Let me just use as a Stack Overflow. Okay, they are saying display dot max rows set pd dot set option. Yeah, we have did the same. Max rows for older version of pandas, you need to change the display dot height, display dot max rows. Let us just try to use both of these things. Okay, whichever is going to give us a that will be good for us. Okay, means height. We are using a higher version of pandas, so we have to use this. I don't know why it is not working on Google Colab, but it is basically working on Kaggle and Jupyter Notebook. If you are using this thing inside a Jupyter Notebook, so it will be showing you this thing. Okay, so yeah, no worries. Okay, So yeah, let me again just try to implement this one. If it is giving us a result, it will be good. 10 will be good. Okay. No, again. Okay, not a problem. Just leave this thing. We are going to discuss other things. So just try to run these things in Kaggle and your Jupyter notebook for things. For sure, the things are going to work over here. Now, they are saying write a pandas program to select a rows of series data frame by given integer index. Basically, at a given index, I basically want to the data. So yeah, I can basically pass df.ilog2. We have basically discussed these things many times. So this thing is not new for you now. Now, write a pandas program to replace all the nan values with 0. Yeah, this is the most important question, guys. Filling a missing values. Okay, this is the most important question. So how we can basically fill a missing values over here. Okay, let me just copy this thing, and this is basically my data frame. So if I want to know if there is any kind of a missing values, what I can do, df dot is na. Okay, and dot, let me just pass sum. So it will be basically telling me that with respect to, it is just giving me the names of all the columns, and it is basically giving me like which values are missing, how many values are missing. So in a score there are 2 values missing. So I basically want to fill these things with respect to 0. So let me just do df dot fill na is 0. So yeah, in a score you will be able to see this is 0 and this is 0. So these were the nan values, missing values. Okay. So df dot is na dot sum, I basically applied for checking the missing values, and here I have passed df dot fill na 0. This is the thing that I have did over here. Now, write a pandas program to set a given value for particular cell in a data frame using index value. Now, what does this thing mean? The same. I basically want to change at the index 8, the score value should be this much. Okay, at the index 8, the score value is right now 8.0. But after applying this function at the index 8, I have changed the score value from 10.2. So what I have to do, I just have to pass df.log, index name, column name, and the value that I basically want to set. Okay. Are you able to get these things, guys? Okay. Now, again, write a pandas program to drop a list of rows from a specific data frame. List of rows I'm basically dropping. Okay, so over here again df.index 2 comma 4, I'm just passing the index and I will be able to drop these things. Okay, now in real life, guys, what happened, we basically need to shuffle our data set. Okay, let us just see if this is my data frame. This is my data frame. Okay, whenever I'm passing my data for machine learning, before that I basically have to shuffle my data set, because right now I can say this data is having a sequential information. It is containing a sequence wise information. If I'm just going to send this data to my machine learning model, so it will be capturing the sequential information only. But I basically want to train a model which will be a more generalized model. Okay, so for that I basically have to shuffle my data set, so it will be not learning the pattern. My machine learning model will be learning the real data. It is not at that time, like, it is not learning the pattern, but it is learning the real data. So what we can do to shuffle our data set, there is something called df.sample frac1. You just have to pass frac1. Now what is df.sample? You all have seen the normal distribution and all the things. Okay, where we are just extracting a sample. Okay, a sample of like a central limit theorem. Okay, we basically all have studied that thing, because if my data is not normally distributed, and if I'm taking n sample greater than 30, so that will be following our normal distribution only. Okay. So if I'm just going to select df.frac, let me just say 4. Okay, and let me just print df over here first of all. So you will be able to see any randomly picked up 4 sample from my data frame. Okay, that is present over here. This is my data frame, but these are the randomly picked 4 values. Now if I'm just doing a df.frac, and again where I'm just passing frac is equal to 1, that means I'm not selecting a sample, I'm just shuffling whole data set. So this was my data set because I have stored this value in this variable, that's why it got changed. If I'm just running this thing again, and if I'm just running this one, for sure you will be able to see all the data. Now you can see my index is being changed. Okay, so there is something called df.reset index, where I can basically reset my index. Let me just show you. Okay, yeah, you will be able to see this thing, that now it has converted into this, and if you want, basically you can drop this index. That's it. Okay, just okay. Now they are saying write a pandas program to convert data frame column types from string to date time. This is basically a date. Okay, now I want to convert this into a date time. So there is an option inside my pandas. Okay, that is called, this is basically my series, that is called pd.to date time, in which you will be able to, okay, you will be able to get the date over here. Okay, let us just try to print this one. Okay, date was in this string format, but when I have passed pd.to date time, you will be able to get this date. Okay, so now let us just discuss all the things in a fast track way. Okay, this thing is not that much important. If I'm just okay, yeah, this is also here. We are just what we are doing. We are just converting our score. This is basically our score that is in a float format. Float is basically means after the dot we are basically having a value and a decimal. So if I'm just going to pass df.score.s type int, I'm just converting the score of this one. So I will be able to get this value score. Now let us just say if I want to convert attempt into float. Okay, so I can basically pass df.attempt, df.attempt, and I have used dot s type float. Why? Okay, it is saying data frame object has no attribute attempts. Df.score is there, attempts is there, but why it is not taking? I can basically pass this thing like this also. If I basically do not want to pass the my this, I think the name of this thing is different now. It is named by df only. I haven't run this thing. Okay. Now you will be able to see that this is my old data set. Okay, the value was an integer. Okay, now I have converted these values into float. Okay, for selecting a column, you can even write this thing df dot attempt dot on this, or you can even pass this thing like this. Both the things are going to work. Okay, now write a pandas program to remove infinite values from a given data frame. Whenever we are working with respect to real life data, guys, so it we basically get some kind of infinite values, like from minus infinite to plus infinite. So you just have to pass, you just have to use a numpy library over there, because in over here only we are using a numpy, otherwise mostly we are using only pandas. So you just have to pass df.replace np.inf minus, that basically means if the value is in positive infinite or if the value is negative infinite, missing value. But if the value is infinite, I cannot replace this thing. Okay. So again, write a pandas program to insert a given column at a specific column index in the data frame. Nothing, everything is new, everything is old that we have basically discussed. We are just passing an index over here that in the 0 position I basically want to insert these things, and the column name basically I'm giving it, and the value of this new column I'm passing. So this is my original data frame. Now after converting all these things, this is my new data frame. You can see call one value has been inserted over here because I have passed the position of 0 over here. Location is going to be 0, position. Column is going to be, the name of my column is going to be call1, the value is going to be this much. So just can I get some kind of a confirmation, guys? Are you able to get all these things? Yes or no confirmation, guys? Because tomorrow we are just going to discuss about a real life project in our end-to-end basis, where we will be creating a functions for cleaning our data set, for visualizing my graphs. Can I get a confirmation, guys, from some of you? Okay, people are worried about the attendance only. Okay, guys, so yeah, we are going to continue these things in the tomorrow class only, where we'll be discussing about the EDA part. Okay, and I am just going to share this notebook with all of you, and there are some easy functions. Just try to explore these things. Okay, in the tomorrow class we are just going to explore all the visualization libraries and how to create a function. Yeah, Prachi, you are right. Because we have a limited time only over here. Okay, but if we are like interested in these things, just I will like just suggest you to join the full stack data science course only. Okay, and update of Let's Upgrade only. So just try to explore these things. I've even mentioned the problem over here. I've even mentioned the solution over here. So just try to explore these things. Only some functions are left over here. But if you are getting any kind of a doubt, okay, for yeah, case study, for sure, a case study we are going to discuss in the tomorrow class. Okay, yeah, so both you are right. So I'm just going to share this notebook with all of you. Just do some kind of a practice, guys. And yeah, if you face any kind of a problem, just try to note that somewhere and just let me ask in the next class. Okay, so this was it about today's session, guys. Okay, so let me just stop sharing my screen. Okay, so this was really it about the today's session. Okay, I hope that you all have enjoyed today's session, and for sure in tomorrow class we are going to pick up a good data set. On the basis of that we will be performing EDA, and if you want we can even take two data set, so one for the like classification purpose and one for the regression purpose. If you are not aware about these things, classification and regression, for sure we are going to discuss about these things in the tomorrow class. Okay, so you will be basically learning different things in a like single session only. So I basically request to Nidhi ma'am, so basically you can end the session. Yeah, Paridhi ma'am.